episode of Twigs and Rigs. My name is Jacob Golopali, and I'm joined here by Zach and Joey. And we're gonna be talking about the playoff race as well as some other news around the league. So we'll send it to Zach to kick it off.
Yeah, playoffs started, obviously. Big series are already underway. First round has kind of been eh, weird. I don't know. It hasn't been great. And obviously, I can speak because fuck Vegas. I cannot stand that fucking team. Oh, I don't know. That's all I can say right now about that series, dude. Uh,
I want to kill myself.
yeah, we know.
I
It's like
hate,
you're.
I hate, I hate Matt Rempe so much. I hate Matt Rempe so much. I hate if this is karma. If this is poetic justice for us having Tom Wilson. Honestly, hilarious. But I'm pissed. I'm angry. I'm mad. You could say cry. I'm fucking already. I'm screaming right now, bro. I hate that motherfucker. He's so like. Here's what I've always said about one thing. I think yes, I understand Tom Wilson pisses about every team off, but let me tell you something. You would fucking love him if he was on your team. And Matt Rempe is proof because Matt Rempe is worse and does the exact same thing he does with the physicality, and everybody in New York loves him. And like we were the ones that victimized New York, and now we are.
Say more. I'd say more. Every team with Tom Woes, every team in the Metro kind of got victimized.
Every
By
team
Tom
would love
Woes.
him. Every team would love him because he's exactly what you want in a player. He gets in those rough areas and really just makes life hell for everybody. But like it's just been tough because I watching game one. It was like that 5 minute stretch in game one where they score 3 goals, two of which
Yeah,
probably shouldn't have counted. But after that, I was like, yeah, we're not winning this because they're putting up they're basically just once they score get a 2 goal lead they just don't care, they don't attack, they don't put pressure, the Rangers sit back, and honestly that's why I'm not impressed with them. I'm not gonna lie, they don't impress me because if a better team plays them, a better team probably beats them because after they score 2 goals and they take that lead, it's a sit back and wait game, and it's like
turtling.
eventually yeah, they're basically just playing a 200 foot. They're not playing in the offensive zone, and even if they get chances, they're not good because it's like 1-on-2, 1-on-3, 2-on-3. Like they're not sending guys on the rush. They're just making you come and beat them, which like it works. But I'm going to tell you right now, when they play Carolina, Carolina's going to smoke them. I'm sorry, I Carolina is so much better than this Rangers team in my opinion. I don't think the Rangers team is bad. They won the President's Trophy. You don't win that for no reason.
Yeah,
But I think that they are not as good as people think. I think that there definitely is going to be. I think it'll go 7 for Carolina versus New York, but I think Carolina's going to beat them. I think that Carolina will beat them. I don't see them. Their offense has a lot of streakiness to it. It's very much reliant on the power play
yeah,
because hate to say it, but that's kind of been the difference between the Capitals and Rangers in this series is the special teams. Like 5-on-5, it's like yeah, 5-on-5. The Capitals have been honestly pretty equal to the Rangers. They haven't played bad. They haven't been giving up crazy chances since the first game. They played arguably better in this game and the last game 5-on-5. But once the special teams got there, dude, the Rangers just fucking outclasses. They have
yeah.
2 shorthanded goals. 8 seconds into our first power
Barclay
play tonight.
Goodrow.
Barclay
Hey,
Goodrow.
Goodrow.
When's the last time this man scored a fucking goal? I'm curious. I should have looked this up. It's been
Didn't he score another goal that series? Or am I just...
No, it's his first goal of the series. Trust me, I would have remembered.
He only had like 3 goals in the regular season.
Let me take a look real quick. But this dude gets and just absolutely snipes it 5-hole, and that was like I was like, yup, that's it. That's the series.
I'm just wondering. I know this isn't really his fault. Like, at what point do you make a goalie change?
I think in game 4 it's going to be Kemper. I think they're going to go Kemper. It's not on Lindgren. It really isn't. But Kemper has way more playoff experience than Lindgren. He really does. Like, and I mean, to be honest, we're just about saving face here. If you're just about saving face and getting a win so you don't get swept, go with Kemper. Go with Kemper. See what he can do because you're paying him $5 million. You might as well. I mean, I don't blame Lindgren at all. I won't be one of those people that blames Lindgren. He's played really well. The range, I mean, after
Dude pretty much saved y'all season.
he did. Like he genuinely did, and I give him credit. But like that, what's he gonna do when they're just sitting back in the third period when we've already given up? Like honestly, if when Kemper plays, these games get to these like crazy offensive shootouts because teams see him give up like 2 early goals and think, oh, we could just pepper this dude. But then they start getting over aggressive, and the Capitals take advantage because they make mistakes. But when Lindgren plays, the teams once they score on they're like, we can't keep pressuring the Capitals. We're not going to get more goals on Lindgren. Let's sit back and play 200 feet, and that's what's happened. It's just been bad. Also, Ovechkin has looked really just not great, and I'm not saying that because he's been bad. It's just because he hasn't been developing. Like the Rangers are absolutely playing the right kind of game. They were saying today that Rempe wasn't answering the call. Like they weren't getting, like the Rangers aren't falling for the Capitals shit. They aren't trying to like get into this muck and grimy series. Like that was the thing that scared me. Is like the Rangers just start like getting into these like penalty fests with the Capitals, like and start getting hit, like and just start making dirty plays and stuff. The Capitals are really going to take advantage because the Rangers are going to get in their own heads. But after game 1, the Rangers have just played to the understanding that the Capitals have to beat us. We don't have to beat them really. They have to find a way to beat us. We can't beat ourselves if we don't make mistakes, and that's all they've done is not make mistakes, and it sucks because the first goal today like was a really bad Shesterkin. Like Shesterkin missed it.
Yeah,
It was disgusting.
Like, y'all have taken 1-0 leads in back-to-back games, and
we've after that we've been outscored. I believe 7-0.
Yeah, something.
We haven't scored. Or 7-2. We did not score another goal in this game. The only goal we got was because Shesterkin missed the puck. Honestly, we probably should have gotten shut out because that would have been deserving because Shesterkin played really, really well. That was the only bad play he made. And when Shesterkin's playing really well, it's already hard to beat the Rangers, but when they're playing well and he's playing well, it's impossible. But I'll be interested to see how they play against Carolina because barring a fucking miracle of God, it's gonna be Carolina and New York in the second round again, and in the second time in 3 years. And I think Carolina beats them this time. I don't think the Rangers have that impressive of a roster.
I think out of it's hard for me to say this because the Stars are down 2-0, but of like all the like big contenders, maybe outside of like Dallas, the Rangers are, in my opinion, like one of the more flawed ones.
Oh yeah. Like
Rangers. Like I can talk about Rangers Twitter overreacts and stuff, but like when you see Rangers Twitter, you melt down. You think they're the San Jose Sharks level bad.
But they have looked like they
don't impress. You're not impressive beating the Caps in 4 or 5.
Like
that team. No offense, that team should not be here.
No, we don't deserve to be here. We should have easily lost against Philly. Philly like absolutely trolled on the last day.
If Philly didn't have an end of season meltdown, Pittsburgh's here right now. Pittsburgh or Detroit's here right now, and I think they would have given a better fight. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing, like. I think if Detroit is in this series, Detroit's scoring talent is insane. They have got all those weapons, and I think with the amount of chances they've given the Capitals, if Detroit gets those chances, Detroit's probably making this like they probably have a 2-1 series lead because they would have scored. We've only scored 2 power play goals in 15 chances. They would have 7 or 8, and they would have tilted the ice at some point in the series.
Also, Patrick Kane. I know you don't like Patty Kane, but like
I don't like Patrick Kane.
But him being in that series scoring against the Rangers would be hilarious.
Well, he was good last postseason for him. I remember he played really well.
He was great this year.
You know, God is my witness. He's a good player. Don't really care for what he is off the ice, but he's a good player. But like, I think Detroit would have done well. Pittsburgh. I think they're in the same boat as us.
Their goaltending would have kept them in it.
Their goaltending would have kept them in it, but also they don't have anything depth wise. They're so reliant on what Crosby can do, and we saw it in games.
What are you talking about? You don't want a bunch of defensive forwards who can't score for shit.
Well, man,
I've given Jacob so much shit about it. I have.
But and then what's it? Philly's a fucking Philly would have
No,
gotten snubbed.
they would have gotten swept because they're
Philly
terrible.
Philly wouldn't have scored a goal at this point, in my opinion. I think they would have been shit on completely. But I think the biggest issue is just like it's been the issue all year is our scoring touch is abysmal. It has been so bad
Like
because
outside
the
of
whole season it's besides Strome, Wilson, Ovechkin, who's scoring goals? Who is scoring goals at a rate you can
McMichael.
expect? McMichael's been great, but he's not a scorer. We don't want him to be a scorer. We need him to be a good center.
as much as I want to say Miro Shinchenko.
Miro's not getting time. He's
Yeah.
still young and he's good when he plays.
He's 20.
and he makes
He's
some
what?
great plays, but he's 20. Lapierre has been great in bursts, but like I said, he's 21. This is a young Capitals team. I'm not like I said. I'd be more upset if they mortgaged the future to make it here. They traded pieces away and made it here. I am fine getting swept. I am fine losing.
At least y'all have a pick as well. Like
we have a bunch of picks. We have a bunch of different and important young players. It sucks that Leonard didn't decide not to come and play, but honestly, I'm kind of glad he didn't because I would rather him not be involved in this and go get fucking hurt by somebody because it seems like the Rangers are too busy headhunting than they are scoring goals in this series. But I think I'm glad he's going back to Boston College. I'm glad that we're
play with Higgins next year too.
He's playing. Yeah, he's playing with pretty much all those good players except Cutter Gauthier. Gauthier's the only one that left because Smith and
Will Smith, I think, is still undecided.
Smith's undecided, but Perot said he's going back. So and they're bringing in another. Don't they have another freshman? Higgins. Yeah, Jamie Higgins.
James Higgins.
Up. And honestly, if we're shitting on next year and we can go get him in the draft, fuck it, bring him. Leonard.
He's number 1 next year.
Well then, shit, be horseshit for Higgins.
He's Jack Hughes 2.0.
I think he'd be great because if he's a center, God fucking knows he need a center.
Yes.
I love Dylan Strome, but he's at best a 1B kind of guy. He can't be
low. He's a low end 1C, high end.
He's a very good center. I will tell you this. He had an amazing year, but he's not a number 1 center. I think he's our 2C / I think he's our what's it called? What's his name? There was a guy the Capitals had for a while that was just really good. Was it Canute? It was Canute. Was it? No, it was Canute. It wasn't
Kuznetsov.
It wasn't Kuznetsov because Kuznetsov had top end 1C potential for years. What's his name? I don't know. I'm blanking, but they had a really. I'll give it Knuble. He's our new age Oshie. He's a really good top 6 forward. He's really good. I'm fine next year knowing our top 6 is Strome, Wilson, Ovechkin, and you got to start finding pieces elsewhere. McMichael's probably going to be up there since he's earned it, and I think he's going to keep getting better. He's played better and better. He broke career highs this year, and he's probably going to do it again next year, and I'm happy for that. Miro, I think it depends on how they feel about him.
I think he's probably going to go back to the A.
I think they fucking want Protas to step up.
I think he should.
Protas he's got the body, the frame, and the contract for it. His contract is really good. I like it.
Yeah, it's 3.5
for 5 more years or something like that. It's
big boy.
It's a good contract. And I think McMichael's going to get something like that too because I think McMichael deserves.
The only big thing they don't have is that stud D-man prospect.
No, the thing that they need is I saw this. I've seen this on Twitter, and it's the Capitals are missing. They have literally everything they need besides a star 1C prospect and a star defenseman prospect. They have everything else they need in the system to be good again. They just need those 2 things. The problem with them making the playoffs is they probably missed on the chance to get one of those guys because not even just Celebrini. There was a couple names out there of top end guys that could have gone. I think Lindstrom was a name I heard. Lindstrom was a guy that people.
Dickinson, Perrick, Yakimchuk, Cecilia, Levshinov, all those.
There's a lot of defense when you can get deeper in the draft where you guys go if you get swept. You'll be fine.
I think defenseman wise, but god damn it, I would have loved to get one of the high end centers in this draft. There's a couple of them. I was like, you know what?
Next year's going to be the year to get the offensive talent.
Yeah, I'm hoping
next year's loaded.
I know that this offseason, the whole season, it was we're going to go look for a top 6 forward. We never got one, and it was that was I think was McClellan's hope was to get a good top 6 forward to complement the guys that are already there. And he couldn't go and get them. And it's not like we failed this season. We actually, I think like the only thing that hurts about this is the fact that we're getting swept by the Rangers. But it's like we did everything we were supposed to. The young guys played a lot and played good. Ovechkin got closer to Gretzky. We made the playoffs, fucked over two teams that were really going for it. And yeah, I mean, I've seen one thing is people are going to say next year for Capitals, but I'm telling you something, 2025, 2026, the Capitals, all their big name guys are signed through that season. Everybody is. They're going to have $37 million in cap space and a lot of draft picks to work with that offseason already. I think they have like
the offseason after
this next
year,
season. Right? And it's like they're gonna have some fuck you money.
Yeah,
right?
there's a certain German centerman.
Oh, and better yet, guess whose final season's after that offseason? Alex Ovechkin. And they're gonna want to get him one more chance. And I know they're going to throw money at somebody. I mean, they're not going to get Draisaitl. I don't think they're going to get Draisaitl. Draisaitl's not getting off. I don't think he's hitting the market. I don't think he is.
I can't see it
unless they actually choke in the first round. I don't see him.
I can't see him or McDavid leaving.
I don't see either of them leaving just because of how entrenched they are there. I have to look at that class, but they're like Draisaitl. Like Draisaitl's one of them, but like there's other names out there. And I think that'll be the year you really see the Capitals make moves.
No fucking way. Sorry, I just saw Blake Corum get drafted.
Blake Corum? Who took him?
The Rams.
Fuck! I wanted Blake Corum.
I didn't.
I love Blake Corum. He's awesome.
But yeah. I don't know. I got to look at that class. Let me pull it up.
I'll pull it up too.
Matthew Pod joking.
5 NHL.
Johnston's RFA contract's up, which annoys me.
John Tavares, Mitch Marner, Jamie Benn, Mikko Rantanen, Nicholas Backstrom. He's gone.
He's retired.
That motherfucker is not playing another game. I love Backstrom.
No.
He's done. Steven, this is 2024. Stamp. I don't want Stamp. Please don't go.
He's staying.
Please don't go get Stamp goes. That's the last thing we do.
He's staying.
Marner, Ben, Tavares, Rantanen, Backstrom, Crosby, Draisaitl, Burns, Ryan Johansson, Victor Hedman, and
bring in Sidney Crosby,
Aaron Ekblad, Ivan Provorov, Brock Besser, Claude Giroux, Jeff Petrie, Brad Marchand, Nikolai Ehlers, Brock Nelson, Taylor. This is a fucking loaded class. Good lord.
There's no way Ehlers resigns.
They're so old.
There's a lot of old guys. I mean, Igor Shesterkin, Travis Konechny. That's a fucking...
We'll say this. There is no way Nick Ehlers stays in Winnipeg.
Apparently he wants to leave.
Yeah, good. I'm sorry. He doesn't get
I would say get him to finish the top 6.
He does not get ice time there.
If your top 6 in 2025 is Ovechkin, Ehlers, Strome, McMichael, Wilson, and then another impact winger, give Leonard the opportunity to be top 6. I wouldn't hate that. I would love for them to upgrade their center position, though. They need to find an upgrade. They need to find it. And I saw they were like they need to get like the Jonathan Tage or Taves Thompson trade aspect where they get somebody who like isn't seen as that like dude, but you get him and then he transcends and becomes amazing on the team. Like it's like when Devon Taves went to Colorado, that's when you saw that team really step into the dominance. Yeah. Or when you saw Tage Thompson emerge, it's really showcased Buffalo has. Like, I mean, I don't know now because Dylan Cousins play like shit, and their team is they just hired Lindy Ruff, and that's an awful hire. You can't.
He's a bridge coach, and his whole system is based around offense. So that offense is just going to be better this year.
I think it'll be better, but like, what about?
Plus, they're going to have like depends. I don't know if they're going to have Savoy step in this year. Next season,
Benson they might have. Year, and
they might have Kulich step in this year as like a 3C.
I'd see Kulich over Savoy.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think I know I've heard the name Zegras floated around so much, and it feels like people have said the Capitals would be one of the teams that would really go hard for him because, like, I think
he is one of the most polarizing players in this league.
I think
Zach Parise scored.
Yo, fuck out of here! No,
second goal of the series.
Zach Parise has more goals in the playoffs than Mikko Rantanen does right now. I want that. I want the league to know that Zach Parise is better than Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen needs to walk and come to Washington, baby.
Please get him out of it.
How the fuck does Mikko not have a goal? What the fuck?
I would love for Mikko Rantanen to go to Washington
that fucker is called
just so he can get out of the division.
I think if you're gonna trade, it's gonna be Zegras, if anybody. That's your only hope. I think you put Zegras in this system with Washington with Carberry, who has proven
He's a winger though.
Zegras. I thought he was a center.
He
He
can do either, but if you're looking for a guy to be a reliable like 1C, his defense is atrocious. You don't want that as a
Fair
center.
enough.
well, I mean, they
Fair
dealt with I'm not going to say that because of a certain
Kuznetsov
man.
was absolutely insane when he was a 1C. I don't know. I've scoured the internet for like somebody who could be that true elite 1C, and like Zegras is the only name that comes up. And it's like maybe you give him Tom Wilson, who can play well in his own zone, and Alex Ovechkin, who can help with the scoring aspect, and maybe you just let that line have fun. But I don't want Strome and Wilson separated because Strome and Wilson work so fucking well together.
One thing about Ryan Leonard is that before he went to the U.S. national development team, he was a center, and he's actually a really good option. If his offense turns out to be good without Smith and Perreault, he could be your 1C. He's tough, he's fast, he's got a crazy good shot. He's got some grit to him. He's like he could be a great 1C for you guys if he can produce on his own, which is like he's not a connector like Perreault, so I think he won't have that issue. But I think you just need to pack him around playmakers because he's more of a guy that can get it on and off his stick pretty quickly. And like he'd be a phenomenal center for you guys. He's just a little small right now because he's 18. But I think if he builds into his body, for sure, like he could be that 1C for you guys. I definitely think he could.
He's one of my favorite. He's probably my favorite non-stars prospects.
I think he's the next Capital superstar easily.
I think he's going to be a 40 goal. I think he's going to be.
I think he's going to. I know people say like, oh, he's like Tom Wilson. Nah, he's like Matthew Tkachuk.
That's what everyone says. He's the third. He's the third Tkachuk.
All I keep seeing from like college fans is like this fucker's annoying to play against because it's like he's so big. He just gets the front of the net, and also if he's left open, he's just gonna fucking rip it. He's got a
great Tkachuk with a lethal shot.
He's insane. I think the cat. Like I am so glad we got him. Also, Cristall could be something, but the biggest thing with him is his skating. It's skating and his effort.
Skating and his effort. That's the biggest thing.
Effort you can teach. You can get. I think Spencer Carver.
Also, both of y'all check what I just sent y'all. That's why I'm hesitant to insult Kuzi.
What happened?
Jacob, check your fucking text.
Oh God, yeah, but that literally started because of my post. That like I posted that.
I love Leo. Great guy.
That was the funniest shit.
He's in me and Jacob's Dynasty League that we started. It's hilarious. I love it. He drafted Kuzi 7th overall.
Yeah, he did. He did do that.
He built a good team, which is hilarious.
Chris Paul could be that winger to play with Leonard because Leonard needs a playmaker. Cristall is a very, very skilled winger, and like, yeah, his skating's not great and all, but like, honestly, the way that Leonard spreads the ice with his feet and getting to dirty areas, like Cristall's skating isn't great, and it's obviously going to get better. But even if relative to what they would be in the NHL, if he were to hop in with his skating technique now, you have Leonard. All he really needs to do is be able to make the plays with his hands and his mind and keep up with the NHL pace. Like that's pretty much all he needs. And I think in a year or two he could definitely do that. And I think that's all you really need when you put with Leonard, because that's what, like you were saying, he's a superstar. That's all he really needs is those kind of guys. He's been blessed to have Smith and Perreault, but I think people underestimate what he can do without them. Although I will say, yeah, obviously, you know, when you're playing with Will Smith and Gabe Perreault and then you're not, your stats are going to go down. But I think you put a guy like Cristall who's got great playmaking ability. The only thing I think Cristall, watching him last year, that he lacked was a lot of size. And if you put Leonard and maybe throw, like you were saying, Tom Wilson up there, I think you'll see a whole new angle of Cristall that would be perfect. I think that's the kind of thing. Because, like, I mean, I'm not even going to act like this is a comparison, but I don't know if you guys have gotten to watch Bedard over the this year. I got to watch him when
he
he came.
might be good. I don't know. He might
he
be good.
came-
He had a good season. I like him.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
might,
When
he
he
might
came
be the future of the sport.
when he came to Philly, he didn't go into the corner once, not once.
Yeah,
And-
because they have other guys there who are probably better at the dirty areas in the corners for the puck retrieval.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If you do that for Cristal, Cristal's IQ and offensive ability is really good to the point where he could probably make some good things happen if you just get him the puck.
By the way, let's shift our focus to another series, Game 3 that just wrapped up because I just saw this. Guess how many shots Vancouver had today?
I'm gonna say 10.
12.
12.
Ha!
And they won.
Yeah.
Yup.
My
Casey
brain.
Smith masterclass.
Yeah, if only he was a good person.
Hey, it's all good. Real playoff hockey starts in a few days. The Hershey Bears begin their Calder Cup defense, and they are
Woo!
fucking loaded. Oh my
Woo!
god. This Hershey team, you're about to see like a bunch of these Capitals players go back down there. They're gonna have NHL
Yeah,
Cup
Miro
experience,
and Lapierre.
and they're gonna want to win some shit and
Miro,
go off.
Lapierre, and
Miro is about to go
Vinny.
down to Hershey and
And
score like
Iorio, if
30
he's
fucking
healthy.
goals on people. He is about to put
Yeah.
up some fucking Gretzky
But, like,
numbers.
I had Nashville in 7. I'm gonna be honest with you, even before the Demko injury.
I said
I had Nashville in 7 even before the Demko injury.
I had Rangers in 6, and I had Carolina in 7. I thought the
I had
Islanders were going to play a lot better.
So the bracket challenge, like during game 1, it was still up. I was able to edit it. During that game 1 of the Islander series, I was like, I'm just gonna change this to Canes in 5 because I had Canes in 6 originally. I was like, okay, maybe I'm still giving the Caps too much credit. I mean, the Isles too much credit.
I had Canes in 6, Rangers in 6,
Mhm.
Leafs in 7, Panthers in 5, Avs in 7, Stars in 6, Canucks in 7, Oilers in 5. The Oilers one is looking really fucked because they actually played like shit yesterday.
Yeah, that was bad.
Leafs
It's not
won
that they
sticking with
played bad. It's just that Stuart Skinner. He's a great regular season goalie, but in the playoffs, he is not the guy.
He's ass.
They just don't match up well against the Kings. They just skill-wise,
don't.
speed-wise, they don't match up well against the Kings. I feel like Edmonton could beat a lot of these other teams. They just really don't match up well. I mean,
Yeah.
like
They can
For
beat
example,
Nashville.
yeah, no, for sure they could beat a lot of these teams. They just don't
Mhm.
match up well with like LA's got a little bit of everything, man. They got speed, they got skill. But the thing is, they're all like
put it together yet. That's the thing. Is like,
Yeah,
that's the scary
exactly.
thing. Is like once they get there, like this team, this like group of their players hits that second gear, this
Oh,
LA
yeah.
team's gonna be fucking scary because they got
Yeah.
so many good young
Even
players.
if Dubois doesn't get it together,
What the fuck? Yeah, that Dubois trade might be the worst trade they could have made. I
they traded for the wrong jet.
Velarde. Who did they give up? Velarde.
Velarde, you follow.
Iafallo.
And
And both are
Kupari.
massive contributors to a Jets team right now. Like
And
I
Kupari.
wouldn't have
Oh
made that trade.
my god, they did give up Kupari. That's right.
I wouldn't have made that trade for that guy,
They
especially
traded for the wrong jet.
they should have got
Yeah.
Hellebuck.
Oh
They
yeah,
should've got
but like
Hellebuck.
even I didn't know he was gonna
That
make
package plus maybe one more of their best prospects get you Hellebuck last
add like
offseason,
a
and your
Jordan,
goaltending issues are gone.
add
And
add like a Jordan Spence or something. And
I would have given them. I would have fucking given them like fucking Doughty or something. I've been like take one of these old.
nah.
fucking
Doughty's been
defenders.
good. Doughty's still been
Like,
really
take-
good.
I don't care. It's Hellebuck. Hellebuck would have made them they would have been President's Trophy.
Yeah,
winners.
but he can't let him out to dry, and you don't want to overwork him. I mean, he would have been overworked in LA.
Well, they would have had.
They
They have like a
their
good
backup would
system.
have been. No, actually, no. They would still have Talbot.
They would have a good backup. They have their whole goaltending is just a bunch of really good backups.
Talbot could still be like a 1A.
He's terrible. I'm sorry.
He could be a 1A.
I don't think you can move. I don't think you can move Doughty. I think the
No.
Kings have a very rare, fortunate situation where they have the crazy great veteran leadership. One former superstar on offense and one former superstar on defense, which is very rare for teams to have. And both have a great amount of grit in a two-way game. Those guys are going to be incredible leaders and mentors for
That's why
the
they
guys that are coming up.
Yeah, that's why.
And
Kobe
it's
has
so
a C,
rare
that's why
for a
Doughty has
team
an
to
A.
have both. Right. It's so rare for a team to have both one on offense and one on defense that both play two-way games. They're both gritty, great people. Like, it's very rare. So I just think just for that aspect, you can't get – because you guys got coming up like we're talking about Spence, you were talking about Clark and Mania as well. I'm high on him as well. Like
Yeah, it's
you
like
got these guys, and then on offense, you also got, as you know, like all the stars that they got there.
Byfield, Aliev
Right.
coming up.
You
got
need if you can
Fiala,
teach
Moore,
them
Kempe.
right. If you can teach them all how to play a gritty two-way game and have these guys who have been the stars at that,
And you have Philip Deneau.
Right, dude, they're going to be ridiculous. They're going to be ridiculous being mentored under those two guys. So I think just with that, you can't get rid of Doughty.
And they have an interim coach still. Just a reminder.
Right. Yeah.
I like Hiller, so I don't think he's the guy there. I don't think he'll be the long-term head coach. I don't think Cardley, however you say his name, would really fit LA.
You know, one thing that I've noticed that I actually got to learn this year working for the Flyers and stuff is that, believe it or not, like obviously development, there is a lot of development from coaches, but a majority of players that develop, they get that development from their peers, from their, their veteran leadership. This people are obviously there to guide them and help them, but they're there more for the how do I say it? The X's and O's. They're more there for the system play. The guys that are there, your captains, your leadership, those are the guys that actually develop you. Like you see videos of how Nick Foligno just absolutely bullies Bedard and bullies Korchinski and all of them and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff coaches can't do. And I think it was something I noticed a lot. Like when you just listen to the Flyers guys talk and everything, the veterans definitely step up and being able to just mold these guys' mind and body. Like it's something I really didn't take into account because I always thought, oh yeah, it's always these coaches' faults when players, or not coaches' faults, or it's always the coaches that make these guys the way they are. But no, and even you'll hear it from the players themselves, like, yeah, like this player, that player really helped push me to learn this or that. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and this won't be the year for LA. I can't see it.
No,
in the future, they have such a good chance.
Yeah.
I feel like the question mark just relies on what do you do in goal? Like that will always be my question is what will they do in goal? I could see like what's it called? There's a couple names that are going to be on the market in the trade market this offseason.
Markstrom, but I don't think
Markstrom. I think one of the Boston goalie. I think they're going to try to trade Ullmark. Because they tried to get him, and he said no. But I think if they lose again this year, and he's like, I mean, they're going to go with Swayman. I think Swayman should be the one. I think you're blessed with two really good goaltenders, and you're able to
go
win that.
Swayman game 4.
But if you could if you could go and convince LA to give you one of those good young forward talents, something Boston really fucking needs.
Joey, I don't know if you remember this, but the rumor for Ullmark was POD and Kaliev.
That would have been a trade.
That would have been interesting because I think if POD got moved to Boston, I think he would have gotten it together.
Imagine Montreal's hearing that. It's like, they were like all but starting to get Pierre-Luc Dubois, and he's like, oh no, he's gonna end up on your most hated rival. Like, I'd honestly be so pissed. But it'll be interesting what happens in the offseason if Boston decides to shake things up if they lose, which I can see happening.
They need a 1C.
I think I can see that happening.
I love Patra. I love what Coyle's done this year. Coyle's had a great year. It is not being talked about how good he's been, but he's not a 1C on a contender.
I think their biggest thing is they're just
that series has been very interesting because I love Jim Montgomery. I've expressed my love for the guy as a coach. Loved him in Dallas.
We met him in Nashville.
Yeah, talked to him. Credits a lot of last year to leadership in Bergeron, Krejci, those guys. Those guys are not there anymore. It is hard to win. It's hard to win without that kind of two-way centerman. The only really two-way centerman I really can think of on Boston that's healthy right now is Coyle. Like, you have a good story in Dan Heinen this year, 18 goals, I think. But
he left Boston, went to Pittsburgh, and then came back and still produced. It's insane. It's
incredible. But you need that true 1C. I know they're in rumors in the offseason to go after Elias Lindholm.
Oh, God.
Which is interesting because I know he's got that reputation of a shutdown 1C. He's not that. But I mean, he could very well develop a lot of chemistry in Boston with those guys because he's getting the 1C minutes, and he is kind of more of a passenger on a line. If he's with Pasta, he's probably just a passenger. He'll feed off of it. As much as I hate saying that, I was going to say connector, but I was like, not really.
Nah.
But
if your answer for a 1C is going to get a fucking going get Elias and Lindholm, you're going right back to where you started, and you're going to be in a shit shape because essentially you're getting somebody who is like right at the same tier. I'm gonna say he's like the same tier as Zaka at center wise. Zaka is literally like better, I would argue, because he's actually able to.
How good was
he produces with Pasternak in a way that nobody else on this team can. That's why he's on his. They have the. What's so interesting about Boston, what I've noticed, is they run 2 power play units. There isn't a one unit; it's just the one they prefer. The one unit is the Pasta Zaka connection. It's them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's who else is on it? Is it
JVR, Hyndman, and
Shattenkirk. And it's like all those guys are good. And then they have the Marchand unit, which is Marchand, DeBrusque, Coyle,
Geeky, and McAvoy.
And that's underrated.
Yeah, by the way, that first PP unit got shaken up after last game because Pat Maroon was on that first unit.
Pat Maroon shouldn't have been on there. He's terrible. But
he actually hasn't been bad this series. So
I think it's
from what I've seen, he's looked atrocious.
He's just
okay. He's hit a lot of people.
Surgery, so like I mean,
shout out Mork.
But I think the biggest thing for them is they have so much good depth. They lost a lot in the offseason. You can't lie. And Jim Montgomery, in my opinion, should win the Jack Adams. He should, because Pasternak. They lost Krejci. They lost Bergeron. They lost Hall. They had to trade away.
Forgot about that.
They lost 3 top 6 forwards, and are just as at least.
They lost Foligno
who was good depth.
Who was good leadership as well.
They lost so much, and they basically were just as good. Now it helps that they have one of the best goalie tandems in the league. They have a really solid. I don't know why like Boston fans with Matt Grizz like dead all the time. He's actually not that bad.
He's not terrible.
And obviously Lindholm, McAvoy.
Carlo is tough.
Carlo is just so underrated. Oh my god!
Carlo is a
I love Brandon Carlo. Brandon Carlo is awesome.
If he's such a brick house,
give me fucking Brandon Carlo, and I will fight for that man.
Jim,
they're good.
They have the best culture in the league.
I don't think any team.
I do not think it's debatable.
Like is able to bounce back and win like that. To get humiliated like that. Like let me put this into perspective. You have the Capitals in 2010 when they got lost as the President's Trophy winners to the Canadians. They choked through 1 series lead. Exact same thing happens. It took them years to get back to that level because of how set back they were as a franchise. It took them years. It's taken the Canucks a decade just to become a playoff team again after losing as the President's Trophy. When it takes you a while.
And with Boston also, they don't really have much in the pipeline. Patra was a great surprise this year. They have Fabian Lysell, who could be a top 6
Patra,
guy.
that's his name. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's that young guy, right? The
center who went under whatever the
really
surgery was.
I thought he played really well when
he did. He's David Krejci 2.0.
I think he's going to be a great player.
Crazy.
But you got
They have Fabian Lysell, who I think is pretty much going to be Nick Ehlers.
And then who just got debuted last night in the playoffs?
Mason Lohrei.
Mason
Lohrei.
Like
he's a big boy, 6'4", big boy. They also
he looks like a baby. Ever see his face?
He's a ginger as well.
I think it'll be interesting. Oh, sorry, guys.
What was it? When they came to Philly, dude, I totally forgot to tell you about this, Zach. All the opposing teams warm up like outside of our thing, and I came down and I was like, I forget what I was doing. I was doing something in the like next to the boards or whatever, and the security guard stopped Mason Lohrei as he was coming in from playing soccer or something. He's like, whoa, you can't go in there. You can't go in there. And he's like, dude, I'm on the Bruins. I was like, oh shit, all right, my bad.
He's so big.
He looks like a child.
I think that the best thing the Bruins do is that they always know how to keep just reloading depth and finding guys that work and making the right moves. Be it as it may, they've made some bad decisions. I don't know why they got. I don't know why they got rid of Bruce Cassidy. I get that.
Yeah.
He kind of,
I learned a lot. I learned a big part of why. Because Jake DeBrusque.
Really?
Because his development's kind of.
Well, I mean,
but it was.
Has he gotten much better under Montgomery? I mean, he's good, but like he's kind of hit that.
But that was another reason. But also, like you bring up like them finding guys. They made a lot of good moves in the offseason. Shattenkirk's been solid. JVR's been great for them. I love.
I thought the Lucic move wasn't a terrible decision. I thought that was decent. I thought depth wise
until.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Lucic is a piece of shit. I completely forgot.
Parker Witherspoon has been an NHL.
I know.
He's been an everyday player for them since January.
Just randomly, Parker Witherspoon. That's a Bruin.
He was with the Island. He was with the Islanders last year. He's
Makes
a banger.
sense. Parker Witherspoon.
He's a bangers and mash kind of guy.
Yep.
John Beecher is. He can be like a good.
John Beecher just randomly being good. Yup, it's insane.
He can be like a decent third liner for them. I know he's a former first.
It's insane, but
it's
like you talk about franchise.
Trent Frederick has had a very underrated season.
Very good.
I do not think that gets talked about as much.
He's been good.
Also does everything.
Oh my god! Death taxes and Zach Hyman goal. Jesus.
Zach Hyman goal.
That doesn't count. Parents were rich.
Not assisted by McDavid.
It wasn't not assisted by McDavid.
Doesn't count. His parents were rich.
It's like that's incredible. Now bring up his GDP.
Fuck Andrew Berkshire. That was so fucking stupid.
His parents are rich. He doesn't deserve to be in the NHL. Okay.
Yeah. But I want to. I will also say this about that series. I picked Boston in 6. I don't think this Toronto team is that good enough to force 7.
I think it's going to come down to if Willie comes back the next game. I think they'll win. But he's
got a head injury though.
No, it's migraines.
Yeah, migraines. Yeah.
So as a person who suffers from migraines, everybody's like, he's weak, dude. I wake up some days with migraines.
No, that shit
I can't
fucking.
I can't get up. I'm like, I don't.
But from what I've heard from other people, that shit fucking sucks.
It sucks. It's terrible.
But
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I looked through this Toronto lineup. Like I like Bertuzzi. Please be a Dallas Star in the offseason. Like I look into the lineup. It's like okay, fine. The defense does not inspire much confidence. How many right shots are playing on that team? 2 right shots are on that team. Sure, that's a bit nitpicky, but Ilya Lyubushkin is on the top pairing.
It's just there's just so much shit. Here's the thing about the Leafs. I think.
And the goaltending is not that great. I'm sorry.
I
don't think anyone in Toronto trusts Ilya Samsonov right now. I'd put in Joseph. I'd put in Wall. But like
I think here's the thing about the Leafs that has always been a problem for me is the over. They were blessed with William Nylander's contract for how long and how little he got paid, and you want me to be very, very hot takey here. That contract was once he signed that current extension he's on before the one he had once he signed that first extension where he sat out until he got paid.
Oh yeah, the RFA stuff. Yeah,
once he got paid, that I was like, that's their last cheap, affordable contract of this group. They need to start winning.
Yeah,
and now. There's expensive as Matthews and Marner. Worth it because he's one of the best.
Marner's also up in 2 years.
Marner's up in 2 years. I don't know if they keep him. I don't know if they can.
Side note: that man, I swear to God, every postseason is a disappearing act. I swear to God, he has not done anything this series.
He had that good pass in Game 3 for that goal.
Oh no, he had a great pass. Yeah,
and I think he has a lot. Marner's biggest thing is I don't think he likes being in Toronto. I don't think he likes.
He's from there.
I think he's he just doesn't want to be there anymore. I think he's just the media is always he always seems to be the scapegoat when it's okay, Nylander wasn't that good last postseason.
He showed up in round 1, and that's
I get when you get paid that much, you have to be at a level of scrutiny that's above most every other player. He, I think, was the first guy to get paid. Oh no, it was Matthews that got paid the big contract, then him, then Tavares, then Nylander. Yep.
Tavares hasn't gotten
Riley.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Morgan Riley is so overrated in so many ways.
He's hit or miss. He's an offensive defenseman.
He doesn't score a lot. And
He had a bounce back here this year.
I think their biggest thing is going to be if they don't win in the first round this year.
I
think Shanahan's probably gone.
So I also found this out about Toronto. They have a new boss. Shanahan has a new boss.
Oh yeah,
and one of my buddies has told me that their new boss, he will be aggressive if.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you one thing: is Shanahan, Keefe, and what's his name, Trevling are all probably gone if they don't win the first round. They're probably all gone.
Tree Living, I don't think so, but the other two, yeah.
Trey Living didn't really do anything.
But Tree Living has only been 1 year. You don't fire a GM after the 1 year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think he's that good of a GM either, but
they're gonna. Here's the thing: deadline. They don't do anything to add to this team.
Because that's Tree Living.
They needed like deep defensive help.
They needed good defensemen,
and they got Labushkin.
They wanted Chris.
Labushkin is okay.
They wanted Tanev, but we swiped him up.
They got Edmondson. They could have gone to the Capitals again and asked for somebody else, but apparently they
Nick Dowd.
I'm shocked Nick Dowd didn't get picked up. I'm shocked. I
wonder why.
I know the price was high, but I mean, he's a good forward. He's a very good defensive forward, and also he scores at a good clip. Like he has, I'm not saying like I know I get fucking flamed in the chat. It's like, he's gonna get a first round pick.
Really?
I was like, I don't think he's gonna get a first round pick. I thought his contract was the biggest reason why, because you got a guy like that making $1 million for 2 years. Like you could,
he had another year.
Like, he has another year. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was worth the first round pick, I thought, but nobody wanted to pay for it. And honestly, I respect teams like, it's insane. It's insane, like how much they didn't get aggressive at the deadline. Yeah. I knew this deadline was probably one of the weakest when it came to players available wise. There wasn't much.
It was a lot of Calgary, but like otherwise,
it wasn't a lot. I mean, Washington had some guys, but if you don't pay the first round pick, they're probably going to look at you and be like, why would we give them up? Because there's another, the one thing I said about Charlie Lindgren was like, Charlie Lindgren was going to be worth a first round pick. Everybody roasted me, but I'm telling you something.
He is.
This offseason, the Capitals might look again and be like, if you want Charlie Lindgren, the price is probably going to be a first round pick because he's a good goaltender and he's cheap.
I wouldn't mind Dallas going after him as like the one.
I'll tell you what, if New Jersey is thinking they can't afford Markstrom, they're probably going to look at Washington and say, "You think we can talk about getting maybe Charlie Lindgren?" And we'll say, "Okay, we want a first round pick, or we want."
I've loved Charlie Lindgren this year. It's been fucking awesome.
Because he's cheap, he's affordable. It makes it so that they can pay the younger guys next year the money they need to, so that they don't have to throw money at them and then a goaltender like Markstrom, because they're not going to get Markstrom retained. Yeah. I don't think they will after this past season. They're going to make Markstrom be a full take on of a contract.
A full asset.
And he's probably more expensive than Charlie Lindgren because he's probably going to be a longer term guy. You probably can pay less for Charlie Lindgren this offseason, but also it's still
Lindgren's also younger. And by Markstrom's Markstrom's going to finish top 5 in the Vezina this year.
Yeah, so
Lindgren
might also finish top 5 in the Vezina. From what I see, people might give him some shouts just because of what he did in Washington.
Yeah,
but I mean, it all comes down to what they want to do in the off season for Washington will be interesting. I'm interested to see what they decide to do because they don't. The only free agent left they have to decide about is McMichael, but he's an RFA, so they've got everybody else locked up, so they're done. They're basically done with the re-sign.
Yeah.
Pacioretty's getting sent to Siberia. Goodbye, Nicholas Bell. Thank you for your service.
Knack. We'll never forget him dropping the cup with the Avs.
He's good. I just don't think we
bangers and mash. I know one of the Flyers fans I talked to is actually friends with him, which is hilarious.
He's a nice guy. He seems. His wife made the Capitals Wags jerseys, and she's pregnant, so I honestly respect her for doing that. I wouldn't have wasted my time with that shit.
Yeah. But I want to move on to this series because this is probably the last actual interesting one. Because I'm sorry, Dallas and Vegas is not interesting, and it has either been boring or making me depressed.
And I gotta head out at like 11:15 probably.
The Jets Avs. It's been that's been probably the most interesting series so far, in all honesty. Like just because how high scoring the first game was. What was it? How many goals went?
7-6.
6-7, 7-6.
Yeah, seven Kiev. Yeah,
I think the biggest thing will come down to the Jets. The Jets always do this to people. They every single year they've lost in the postseason since returning to it. They have played really well in their
Hellebuck's
first
never
game.
has never had a great postseason.
They
I
did
think
this
that-
against Vegas in
one of
2018.
the
They
worries,
dominated
but-
Vegas in game one, and everybody was like, oh, they're going to just fucking sweep them. And then the 4 straight games they drop, and it's like, this is looking exactly the same because they played really well against Colorado, but like Hellebuck. I think I should remind Jets fans, while Georgiev has been bad, Hellebuck has allowed 10 goals in 2 games. So you're
Guy's
at
about to win a
it's double-edged
second.
sword.
Guy's about to win a second Vesna, which is very deserved, obviously.
Absolutely.
But dude, here's the thing: you cannot win a cup under Rick Bonus.
Mm-mm.
I have said this many times. I get shit on for it sometimes by the chat mainly. I have lived through a Rick Bonus system. You cannot win a cup like that. You cannot win a cup when you have a 1-goal lead and turtling. You can't. And here's another thing that bugs me about Winnipeg right now. Who's your best young player, Cole Perfetti? He's either on the 4th fucking line or he's not playing. You want to know whose career arc that's starting to resemble? I know he had a better year. He had a really good second year as well. But you want to know who had a good first year and then fell off in their second year because of that shit? Dennis Gurianov. You do not want this to end up like that. And I love Cole Perfetti. The genius is great. But you cannot have it end up in that kind of situation again. I've always also said this. Kevin Cheveldayoff's an overrated GM. I don't think he should be fired right now. I thought last offseason he should have. But it's so weird. And also, I need to say this. Bonus having a hard-on for a guy like Vladimir Mesnikov. He did that same shit with Radek Faksa. So I don't know what to say. They have gotten outplayed ever since game 1. Because I saw a stat. I gotta go find the tweet again. But the Avs pretty much outchanced them by 2 in every category. Outchanced them times 2. It's not a good system. It's a good team on paper, but I don't think a lot of their guys are also playoff performers. Mark Scheifele is like outside of that 1 year, he's not really much of a playoff guy. Kyle Connor, I give him his credit. Love that.
Kyle Connor's good.
Casey's
Come to
great.
Washington, please.
Casey's awesome, but like outside of that, like Sean Monahan's been all right this year. Actually, has been all right.
Connor Hellebuck
and Adam Lowry's been really good.
You know what? Every good Jets player come to Washington.
So, but like, I haven't really heard much of Jomo, which you could argue is a good thing or bad thing, depending on D-man. I haven't heard much of Dylan DeMello.
Has he got nothing this series? Holy shit.
I don't know. I haven't heard much about him. Dylan DeMello is a great DFD. I'm not gonna say shit about him. I like DeMello. I think he's a pending UFA. But like outside of like Morrissey and DeMello, you're playing Dylan, Pionk, Sandberg, and Schmidt. That does not instill confidence in a top 4. Pionk is not that good. Brendan Dillon, I mean, he just hits and blocks at this point. And then Sandberg, meh. Schmidt, bad. And then your 7th D, oh god, your 7th D is Logan Stanley. I forgot about that. Oh my god. Like, I don't know how cap strapped they are, especially with those extensions kicking in. So
let me take a look at the
Jets. But then there's not much way to really upgrade that team. You can bring in Brad Lambert next year, probably. I like Lambert a lot as a prospect.
I mean, this offseason.
Same with Nikita Chibrikov as well, who had actually a really good game 1.
This offseason is going to be tough. Cole Perfetti's Tyler Toffoli.
Perfetti's getting bridged.
DeMello, Logan Stanley. I mean, good news is you signed Josh Morrissey long term and Hellebuck signed long term. Most of their core is still locked in.
Yeah,
and the buyout and next season's the last year for the Wheeler buyout. So
the one thing I wonder with Winnipeg is how long of a run do you give with this core?
I thought that last year was the last year. To be honest, I thought they were going to blow it up.
But that's when everyone was in trade rumors. But now you have that core
If
locked
they
up.
make it past the first round, I think I hate to say it, but the winner of this series is probably going to the Cup final for me.
It's either that or
either
that
Vancouver
or
without
Vegas.
Demko, I don't trust. I don't trust the Oilers. I don't trust Dallas. I don't trust Vegas. I mean, Vegas has got it, but like I don't trust them against the Avs or the Jets. I think the Jets or Avs smoke them. I mean, the Kings, it'd be hilarious, but probably not
It
going to
would
happen.
be.
And then the Nashville Predators are a fucking joke. You're kidding me.
Nashville would be.
And it's like in the East. It's like in the East. Like both wild card teams in the East fucking suck. The third in the Metro sucks. I don't trust the Rangers. I don't trust Boston or Toronto, even though how good they both are. It's gonna be Florida or Carolina again. I'm just gonna be honest. I hate to spoil it for you, but it's gonna be Florida.
And I will be rooting for Florida if the
I
Stars
will be
lose
rooting
this
for
round.
Florida because I don't want that stupid fucking Confederate team to ever think they deserve something in Carolina.
I was gonna say. I thought you were going to talk
Now,
about
Florida
Vegas.
doesn't count. They're not.
I was just gonna say if Dallas loses round one, I'm just gonna hop on the Panthers band.
I'm rooting for the Avs because the Avs are my second favorite team. I'm gonna finally have to get rid of this Anthony Mantha jersey and figure out who to put up there because the Capital season is finally fucking over.
Get like a McMichael jersey.
No, I'm gonna probably put up my my. Do I have a Wilson jersey?
I thought you were gonna say Ovi.
No, I gave my girlfriend the Wilson jersey. Damn it!
Oh, no. I thought you were gonna say Ovi. I was like, oh.
No, but I think like the only series we didn't talk about was Tampa and Florida because Florida is smoking them. And then New York and Carolina, but Carolina here's
the thing. Those two are probably the most boring series because the Islanders. I'm sorry, they shit the bed in game 2, and that's some shit you cannot come back from.
No.
And I feel so bad for Sorokin. I'm sorry. I thought, hey, starting in game 3, that would have been better. Okay, and I mean that PK was also historically bad this year. I'll say that. And Tampa, this might actually be the end. Yeah, I know we might have said that last year. No, this might be the end.
Well, for what?
Tampa.
Oh, yeah, their biggest thing is they're getting older. Vasilevsky's probably going to
that's what I mean. This might
5
be
or 6 years, but Stamkos is getting older. Kucherov, this is his last elite year, I think. You start to see him slow down. Point's good. Sergachev getting injured was unlucky. Hedman's always going to be good. He's like the Lindstrom of this era. He's just so consistent. Even in like a year where he's not like putting up big numbers, he's still.
He put up like 75 points this year.
Yeah, and you barely noticed him. You didn't think about him that much because it's like Makar.
Darren Radish had a good year. Duclair was a great fit when they got him at the deadline.
Was a great fit. Bring him back. I think if they make smart moves, they'll be back in this situation. I just think next year you're going to see like a real turning of the page in the East of like contenders because
you're going to see Detroit probably make it.
This is Carolina's last chance, in my opinion. Florida's going to be like Carolina's last chance.
A lot of Carolina's team is actually pending UFAs. I just remember that.
Islanders, I don't know. Washington, I don't know. Tampa might be their last shot. Toronto might be their last shot. That's 5 playoff teams that could not be here next year. I could see Buffalo and Detroit making a jump. I could honestly see Philly making another jump and getting into the playoffs next year if that
Jacob, you can explain this more about Fedotov, please.
What exactly about Fedotov?
I don't know. I know he didn't look great, but
I mean, he did. Yeah, he didn't look terrible. It just definitely looks like. I mean, obviously he's massive, and it does take him a while to actually like hit the ground. His stance isn't like crazy low to the ground, and like that was also a big issue with like Ben Bishop with his injuries and everything. Like you gotta worry about. There's so many ifs for Fedotov, and he's great at tracking the puck and being positionally sound, even though he's big, but his reaction time is not crazy. His hand-eye coordination isn't the best, but he's so massive and he's just always in the right spot. But eventually that's going to catch up to you.
It's a good story.
I think it'll be interesting. I think it's them.
But they have but remember who they also have. They have Alexei Kolosov.
And Jonathan.
The East is going to be changing of guard next year. I think it's going to be a lot of new playoff teams because I could see 5. And if you even want to go deep to that, like if Boston doesn't if Boston
Pittsburgh
gets
could potentially, because I do think Crosby.
fuck
is
no,
extending.
Pittsburgh's done.
Crosby
They need
is
to rebuild.
extending.
They
I
need to
think we
rebuild.
get one more first round, and then we get swept.
I
that's
think
what it is.
Pittsburgh, that Carlson contract's gonna. It's not only the Carlson contract; it's gonna be that Graves contract. I don't know what the fuck
It
Kyle
never
Dubas was
was.
cooking. I knew
Never
that contract was bad from the beginning, and that contract's already looking awful.
The good thing is Pens get to keep their 25 first.
Thank God, dude.
If
Thank
they
God.
choose,
No,
if they
it's not
choose,
no, it's not if they choose. No, it was top 10 protected, and that pick is at 14. So
Well, you never know with Bettman trying to move us up.
that shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening.
I'm really hoping you're right. I do not want a top 10 pick this year.
Because the max I think you can move up is by 10, right?
and that's
So
top
you'd
10.
be at 4 unless you could, like. I mean, you'd be happy with Caden Lindstrom.
And
I
if
know
you
that.
keep that pick, that means
No.
next year's pick is San Jose's no matter
Yep.
what.
Yeah,
And if
San
you're
Jose
just as bad as
protected.
you were this year, or arguably worse, which is likely possible,
It could
you're
cost
giving
you
San
like a-
Jose.
It could cost you like a Porter Martoni, Roger McQueen. Fuck, I really only mentioned the big guys, huh? Shit.
But like
I
that
think,
could
yeah.
really,
There's a
I
couple
think-
guys that I really like in that draft.
I think the Carlson trade's gonna go back and be like the final nail in the Pittsburgh Penguins competitive cycle coffin. It's just like they made it to try to be good, and it was like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's over. And it's like I think it's just over.
Also, I'm gonna add on.
Honestly, in that last run where they were like down the stretch and they were fighting for a playoff spot, he was amazing.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he was
if we
good.
saw that all year, we would easily be in a playoff spot. Also, if our power play was 20th in the league, we'd be in the playoff spot as well.
Yeah.
But we were like 31, unfortunately. But if the thing is, I didn't like the Carlson trade for a while because he was like a human road cone out there. But like now, after watching the end of this year, I'm like, there's some promise there. I think the one thing about Carlson is he's just. It's gonna sound like I'm glazing. Well, I am, but like his mind is just so advanced
Big
offensively
brain.
that not many people can really keep up with it. And you could definitely see that in the games. Like he would make a pass and it'd be like, who the hell was he passing it to? But then I'd go back and like rewind it. I'm like, oh my God, like he was thinking 5 steps ahead of everybody. And if they were on the same page as him, they would have had a backdoor tap in. But nobody
It's like he's a Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly. So, but the thing is, it started to click at the end of the year. So if he gets a year of dev camp under him and he gets like more like
I know you think Jaeger could potentially make the team.
maybe not next. I think the year after.
And Pickering.
I think Pickering will make it next year just because we desperately. I think he'll at least be tried out. I think they'll at least see
9
what they
games.
have in him.
That's why I picked him, baby. Woo!
I think they'll at least try and see what they have with him. I can't say he's going to stick until he proves he can stick, but they desperately need a third line left defenseman.
Also, I'm just going to touch on this real quick. Utah, baby.
Yeah.
Yippee.
I just saw the
We gave a hockey team to the fucking Mormons.
I saw the 8 trademarks. First off, they're pretty much all terrible. Like they're all either cheesy or not funny.
Hell yeah, man, that's Utah.
Ooh. It's like Utah Ice, Utah Fury, Utah Venom, Utah HC, Utah Blizzard.
Blizzard kind of cooks. I'm not gonna lie.
It does. I wouldn't mind Venom either, just so I could like play that stupid fucking the Venom Eminem song. That was at the end credits of the Venom movie. Terrible movie, but fun watch.
Fucking hilarious song.
No, it is a bad movie, but it's a great watch. It's bad fun, and I love that. I love that shit in movies. Watch Invincible season 2 if you haven't, by the way. But yeah, we didn't want to touch on more, but I know Jacob's running a bit out of time, so
Yeah.
I'll save it for next time.
For sure.
So,
For sure. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we head out here, or what do you think? Save it for next time? Alrighty. Sounds good. Joey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate
having me. It was an
on.
absolute pleasure.
thank you, Joey.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Thanks for jumping me with that Penguins fan stuff. That was fun.
Really great. I was glad to know I'm helping a good cause.
For sure.
Always love
All
helping
right,
my
well-
fellow non-playoff team fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Join you on the day too.
We'll both be in that boat for a while though. So
Bro, I
you know,
can't wait. Early golf.
can't wait for the rebuild.
Yep, I'm
Wait for
excited.
it. All right, well, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys probably for round 2 preview probably.
Hopefully.
So yeah, thank you guys.